Welcome to the demo of our latest updates to the ColorWash dashboard. We've been listening to your feedback and we've come up with some solutions to some common problems that you've been having and some new ways to use the dashboard to manage your lighting devices in a more productive and simple way. So one of the first features I'd like to talk about today is our groups feature. So groups are a way for you to combine devices into a group that allows you to deploy lineups and events to them across a broad range. So you can take a device and move it into a group. In that same token, you can go into that group, find the devices that are in there. You can look at subgroups. So if you wanted to deploy a specific event or lineup to a subset of devices, subgroups allow you to do that. Groups can be nested up to 4 layers deep, so you could have essentially 4 levels of subgroups within a larger primary group. And this is going to be really helpful for customers that have larger numbers of devices, or just a way to group devices in a way that's meaningful for you to be able to deploy the settings that you want to deploy to those groups specifically. If you want to see the groups that you have within your organization, you go to the organization settings tab, and then at the top you'll see the groups tab, and this is where all of the grouping happens on every device. In the event that you want to change a specific device without going all the way to the groups tab, you can navigate into any controller card, go to the advanced tab, click right here in the device group, and you can change the group that this device specifically is in, and that'll update all of the settings on the back end. Next thing I want to touch on is our lineup management tool. So this has changed quite a bit. We used to call this multi-site control and a couple other names. And essentially what this does is this allows you to deploy lineups to specific sets or groups, sets of groups. You can deploy it to a high-level group that's very large and all-encompassing, or you can apply it to some subgroups if you want some more localized control of lineups to a specific set of devices. So there's a lot of cool options here. You know, all of the lineup stuff looks just like it used to. We'll create a lineup. Pick which groups you want this to apply to. We want it to apply to our HQ and factory groups. Pick the shows that we want to add. Click the submit button, save this lineup. And now for us to deploy this lineup, we need to make sure that we only have one lineup going to each set of groups. So this production HQ and production G&G factory, they have lineup already synced here. So we have to stop that sync. And now we have the option to deploy our new lineup to the correct group. So you are only able to deploy a single lineup to any given group at one time. One of the next new features that I want to touch on is a new permission level. So in the org settings page, if we go to the users tab, we can modify any user here to change their permission level. So we can move them from an org user and org admin, which has been part of ColorWash forever, to this org viewer tab. So I have another logged in version here that I will demonstrate how this works. And essentially the org viewer is somebody who can see all of the devices and settings that can be changed without actually being able to change any of them. So this is what it looks like when you log in. It looks a lot like a traditional user. You'll see this. We'll come back to this. This is another new feature we've been working on. We call it the quick access bar. I'll touch on that in a second. But inside of all these tabs where you could typically make changes, the org viewer has the ability to see all of the settings and how a device is programmed and configured to work, but they don't have any option to change them. So even if they attempt to change them, they get a little error message here. All of this stuff, again, haven't got to all these features yet, but it's all read only. So they're able to understand exactly what's happening on a device and how it's configured, and that will give them the tools they need to be able to troubleshoot effectively in the field. So for organizations who want people to be able to see how a device is configured but not make changes to it, that is exactly what the org viewer feature is built for. We've also added the ability to search through your controller list. So as this list of controllers gets a little longer, it's a little challenging to find a specific device that you're looking for. We can now come up here. You can either sort by when they were added or their name. So this would put your most recent devices at the top. or the oldest devices at the top, depending on which we pick, or you can sort by name, or the way that I prefer to find everything is I can find all of them. As soon as I start typing, it automatically filters through these so I can find exactly what I'm looking for quickly. And this function works on the location field, the controller ID field, the controller name field, and then this device group as well. So if you know that you put your devices in a specific group, you can type that in here and it will pull up based on that name as well. We did make some changes on the mobile side. You won't really be able to see those here on my desktop, but there were some challenges with changing our show lineups on mobile devices. And so we've improved the user interface here. So if you need to move a device up or down in the system, you can click here, move up, move down, and it's much more intuitive than our previous iteration. Next new feature I'll touch on is some updates to just the overall system user interface for our Edge-based controller. So Edge is our outdoor linear lighting product, and so it's tied into the ColorWash dashboard. It's ColorWash enabled, but in the ColorWash side, it's a little bit different from the way the things function. So Edge systems installed outside, they don't have process highlighting or mood lighting that you might find in a car wash tunnel. So all of the changes here are simply to make it easier to understand what's going on with the system. So we've changed a lot of words and names for things for the outdoor product that we have. So show lineup now replaces mood lighting. Trigger setup replaces our process highlighting. And in the settings tab, things like white lighting and maintenance lighting, where those are not applicable to the Edge system, have also been removed. So fairly small changes here, but it does make it easier for customers to navigate through some of those settings and understand what they mean. And then most importantly, you also have this option here to be able to see which setting or which systems are ColorWash systems and which systems are Edge right from the controllers tab page. So the next feature we have up is daytime and nighttime mood lighting. So if you were listening or paying attention earlier, you saw that we touched on the ability to add two different styles of mood lighting. So perhaps you want to have a different effect while you're open and your car wash is operating versus what those lights are doing at night to be able to take advantage of some active site marketing in the evening. So we've given you the option here to create two separate lineups. Daytime mood lighting and nighttime mood lighting, and these also apply to the Edge systems as well. But this gives you the option of two completely independent, lighting show configurations for different times of the day. It doesn't technically have to be nighttime. This gives you the flexibility to use those, and you can change which zones those shows play on and all of those different settings that you have across everything. So that's a really nice feature that we're excited to add that we've had a lot of customers request. Another popular request has been the concept of a sunrise and sunset condition. So we've always had the ability to turn the lights on and off at a specific time, but if you want the lights to come on at dark, you'd have to adjust and change those times every day potentially or every week. So we've now integrated the software that can take a specific location and change the time that those lights will come on or off on any given day based on sunrise and sunset for the location you're at. So negative numbers here mean that it's before sunset. So I want this to turn on 30 minutes before sunrise, and I want it to turn off 15 minutes after sunset. And this will essentially keep your lights on all day long. Now, one caveat to this is in order to achieve this feature, we do need to have your zip code entered. So if you do not have a zip code entered on a device, it will prompt you to come to this advanced tab, enter a zip code here. It does take all US and Canadian zip codes. Enter your zip code here, and that will enable the sunrise and sunset condition on the settings page. Going back to a feature that we talked about a little bit earlier is this quick access bar. So this quick access is a way for somebody to log into the system, even an org viewer, jump in and change the mode of the lighting system. So they can't actually turn the lights off, but you can change it into an all bright white maintenance lighting mode. You could set the nighttime mood lighting mode or the daytime mood lighting mode. So this gives you a chance to do that sort of outside of the traditional settings. It's a kind of a manual override, if you will, but you can do it right as soon as you click on the controller from the main page there. These settings do last for 4 hours if you don't turn them off manually. If you do turn them off manually, they turn off when you turn them off. So another nice feature that makes our system a little easier to use for everyone. Another feature that we're pretty excited about is the ability to expand the color palette from the 24 that ColorWash has offered forever up to essentially an unlimited number of custom colors. So if you go into your organization settings tab, go to the colors tab at the top, you'll see this organization colors field. So this is a place that you can come in here, pick any color that you want out of an RGB color wheel, type a name for it, save that color, now my purple, and that's going to be available everywhere that you would create lineups or shows. So if we go to any specific controller now within our organization, go over to the mood lighting tab, and I want to add a show. What you'll see here now is all of our colors are populated down here, and we can pick my purple, set that to Space Mountain, and my purple and baby blue will play in that show. So this allows you to have a custom color, but also reuse that color over and over again across many different shows and many different lineups to be able to have consistency, tie it into your brand perhaps, or some color that's important to your organization for whatever reason. And with all of that, it gives you a lot more ability to customize the lights to do exactly what you'd like them to do. So that's a wrap on the new features in our ColorWash dashboard. I hope this demo has been helpful. We're excited about the updates to the dashboard, and we hope you are as well. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.